Hello, everybody. It's Chris Grimm from AVVI. I'm here with Karuna and with Eugenie, and we thought we would just take a few minutes today to talk about what we're excited about. That is 2 upcoming retreats, one in September, which is the one that you actually, we're going to keep reminding you that you need to sign up for because we have 10 spots left. And we have one in December too, which we'll talk about, which you might want to put on your calendar because December is one of those times, right, where you get hijacked by a lot of things. Anyway, my name is Chris Grimm. This is the AVVI Experience. If you don't know us, we are a collective of awesome humans. That's my humble way of talking about us. We've all been in the business of consulting and coaching for many, many years. Collectively, I won't tell you because I'll feel old. And then AVVI was born. It was born before the pandemic. I think that's life now, you guys, right? Like it's before the pandemic versus after the pandemic, if that's even over.
For sure.
So before we pivoted from what for all of us was more corporate structured coaching and programming to things that were less of that. We wanted to invite more of the feminine aspects for all of us, whether you embody feminine as a man or a woman, actually, we don't care. But we wanted to invite more feminine ideas, concepts, characteristics in. We have some programs like Heroine's Journey that helps you explore that, finding more balance in how you live your life and how you're presenting yourself, hoping that you could be true to what's on the inside. Not just serving on the outside. And collectively, we found that takes, a little space to do that work. Because most of us, if you are like all of us who have spent most of your career in more kind of corporate environments or consulting environments in places like the government, et cetera, those places often required us to look and feel a certain way. Leadership looked and felt a certain way, and those were highly structured because, of course, the goal there is to get stuff done. Versus our AVVI program, by the way, is not to help you get more stuff done, frankly, unless that's something you need to do more of. But more, we're helping you explore, like, who am I now? Who have I been? Who do I want to be? A part of that is not just coaching and some of our amazing programs, which I hope that you look at if you have never seen them, are retreats. So we felt before COVID, even during, we did some online programming, virtual retreats. And then now that that is over, cross fingers, we are back to in person. We are having some, like I mentioned before, some 1 days, one in September, one in December. In 2023, we're super excited to start offering destination. You'll be seeing that soon, so you can plan in advance, get on a plane and join us in these awesome places. But anyway, I thought today we would just take a few minutes, talk about the September retreat that's coming up in Malibu, California at the Sarah Retreat. It's a fabulous, amazing place. We hope you can join us. And I'm going to hand it over to Karuna and maybe talk a little bit about what we've structured for that event and why. So go, Karuna, go.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. I'm Karuna. And as Chris mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about the September retreat. She also said that we've had, since, during COVID, we had online ones, and then we had some in-person ones as well. But this one coming up, I'm really excited about because we've done it a little differently. Our previous in-person retreats, we used to have a pretty structured program. We'd offer things like guided meditations, Reiki energy healings, Ho'oponopono prayer circles, a whole bunch of things. But this time we actually decided we wanted to create a space for everyone to come and kind of be away from wherever they need to be away from and build their own retreat. So we're offering the same programming, but it's not structured. You can pick and choose what you want to do. So if you want to just come and hang out at the amazing Sarah Retreat in Malibu, it's a fantastic space overlooking the ocean. And if you want to come and be in silence there and just be away from everybody and do your own silent retreat or meditation on your own, you're welcome to do that. You are also welcome to join in on some of our programming. We will have sessions like one-on-one energy healing, one-on-one, I shouldn't say one-on-one, but we'll be having some yoga nidra, which is meditation, and some art therapy as well. We've got a whole bunch of things that we're offering. And like I said, you can pick and choose and make it your own day and your own space to kind of go inward and go on that journey. With that, I'll hand it over to Eugenie, who can kind of speak to a little more about our other offerings, if I've missed any.
I don't think you missed anything, Karuna, but I really appreciate kind of how you introduced. We're approaching this September 10th retreat in the beautiful Sarah Retreat in Malibu. How we're approaching this a little bit differently. I think a lot of folks, especially if they're like just kind of stepping their toe for the first time into this kind of intentional healing practices, they kind of bring that work energy a lot of times to it, and they come, okay, I'm going to have a whole day and I've got to heal, and they come into this like, all right, how do I heal? Like just really kind of like almost aggressive self burden to utilize this time and to heal. But in reality, I think we're really intentionally trying to break that mentality down by saying, no, you're here and that's enough. You have taken time for yourself today and that's enough. You get to sit all day, journal all day, whatever you're called to do. Like really that practice in kind of like recognizing your intuition for the first time. I think that's really what we're offering in this gentle way. We're not telling people how to recognize their intuition through a practice. We're just presenting the opportunity. And I think that's a huge step for so many people. And so I'm really excited to share in that. And as Karuna said, some of the things that people will be able to tap into if they're called to, if their intuition is calling them to it, whether yoga nidra, Reiki healing, again, journaling, art therapy, and one kind of group or individual practice, which I'll be offering that I'm excited to, is really some guided meditation and writing practice that really starts to tap into some deep kind of healing within our, as Chris said, our feminine selves. And so I call this, for lack of a better word, I call it letters to our mothers and our daughters. And so a lot of time, like recognizing that any sort of wounding that occurred to our child self, to our feminine child self, we will go into this deep meditation where we kind of meet that child self and then write a letter to either our mother or our adult self now. We can kind of, which is our child self's mother, right? So it's really deep, but but it's just kind of, again, this like dip your toe in the water. Let's practice what kind of meeting ourselves feels like. And so I'm really excited to share that in a gentle place like Sarah Retreat. You're really held while we're there. You're really held in nature, which just alone being in that space can be healing. But then also held in community. You're here in this space with amazing people, as Chris said, that are here just to share practices, not to teach you how to be, not to give you more homework to take home to be better, but just to share in these practices that we've learned, and hold each other in community as we kind of grow together or re-meet ourselves. And so super excited for this kind of deconstructed retreat that we're offering, and hope to see many of you there. And I'll pass it back to Chris.
I think as you were talking, Eugenie, I wanted to make sure I mentioned, because you do such an amazing job actually of anchoring us to the place. So I want to thank you to that, and say to everybody, thank you for that. Sarah Retreat, if you are unfamiliar with it, is in Malibu. It's not down on the beach. It sits up on a, I guess that's a bluff. I don't know what it is. above looking at the ocean. It's spectacular. It was a working Franciscan, I think, monastery. It is no longer active in that purpose. So they use it, they let groups like us and other organizations use it for these kinds of retreats. But it has some unique qualities because it is a beautiful place, like Eugenie was saying, to be. It's an easy place to just relax. Unlike many of our homes, I don't know about all of you. I work hard to try and make my home and all my spaces a place where I can relax, but that's not always easy. And so I do want to talk about the place a bit. And by the way, everybody, you'll see when you go to Eventbrite to register that we are also offering some add-ons. So for those who want to join us, we're going to do an opening before the retreat starts down on the beach, because we thought, oh my gosh, we're in one of the most beautiful locations in the world, a destination for people all around the world. And of course, Hollywood has made that quite famous. But we thought we don't do these retreats and it's not walkable from the retreat. So we don't spend a lot of time on the beach. So we thought, you know what, we're going to invite people to come a little early and have a light breakfast, some coffee, great coffee, by the way, Blue Bottle. They are not paying me for that. We're going to have coffee and some light breakfast and just some maybe quiet social gathering and an opening meditation down at the ocean. It will not be strenuous, by the way, everybody. The hardest thing will be walking from the parking lot down to the water line, we promise. And then back, of course, to the parking lot, and then we'll make it up to the retreat. If you want to join us for that morning, I promise you it'll be a wonderful day to do what Eugenie was saying, which is maybe disconnect from your life a little bit more. You'll do that like on the drive to Malibu if you're in Southern California, and then join us, I hope, at the beach. Then we'll make our way up to the retreat. And then I also want to mention another thing that we love about Sarah Retreat, and it's their labyrinth. So nobody mentioned the labyrinth, and I think that it's an important thing. In this whole build your own retreat, we're not going to force you to do this, but I would urge you, if you're going to join us, and I hope you are, to walk the labyrinth. And a labyrinth, if you don't know what that is, you could look it up. But quite simply, it is what looks like a maze. They are circular. They are usually made with rocks and or dirt that's been carved into the earth so that you can walk through this, what looks like a maze, like I said, because it kind of is. It gets you from the outside to the inside, giving you a place to do what is called a walking meditation. So we usually urge people to do that in silence. So you're not walking and talking to other people. You're walking the path. And when you look this up, you'll learn that I think the first labyrinth that was created because for people who couldn't make a pilgrimage to their holy land, they couldn't do that because of resources, and they couldn't do it because of time or their life. It wasn't available to them. They could go to the labyrinth, which oftentimes was near a holy place, a church, a temple, a synagogue, whatever. And they could walk the labyrinth meditating in a way that helped them feel connected more, not only to themselves, but to source, God, the divine, and to nature. And so we're thrilled we have at the Sarah Retreat when we give people alone time for you to go and find space and be silent. You'll see on our agenda, if you join us, that we urge people to spend time in the labyrinth. It is very different than sitting in meditation, very different than guided meditation. It is walking meditation. And I don't know, Karuna or Eugene, if you want to add to that. I've probably said too much for some people, but I love it so much that now when I travel, last thing I'll say is that I seek out a labyrinth. And if it just so happens that there's one there, like I was just in Maui and up by Kapalua, there's a labyrinth, and I walked it pretty much every day for 16 days. And it was pretty awesome. Anyway, I'll shut up. Somebody else want to talk about this or anything else?
Yeah, Chris, I'm so glad you mentioned the labyrinth because it is such an important, it's well, one of the many things that people love about that place. But I also wanted to add, if you wanted to, you don't have to spend your day in silence, right? We give you a lot of time to be on your own, to do journaling and do some energy work, etc. But the one of the many things that Sarah Retreat is fantastic at is if you chose to spend the whole day in silence, there are other people at that retreat and they're so respectful of your choice to be in silence. Like nobody's going to come chatting up to you and they'll pretty much leave you alone. And it is a great space, and it's and there's so much space there to just go walk around the grounds and be by the not by the ocean but overlooking the ocean, because the views are absolutely spectacular. So highly recommend it. And like I said, I know so many people who have a hard time from disconnecting or leaving their house and leaving their kids. And there's a lot of pressure and just getting out. So take this opportunity to just get away if you can, because it'll do you wonders. And hopefully reduce some levels of stress and anxiety along the way. And that's always helpful. And start your journey inward, which we all need to do, and provide you an opportunity.
It's also a full moon. We're also doing it at the moon.
Yeah.
So we will be, I don't know, Eugenie, if you want to talk a little bit about that. We haven't quite planned every detail, but I know that we will.
Well, I will say, I think I just piggyback on what both of you were saying. I think just going back to the labyrinth and what you have there is, again, we're inviting people to come disconnect from their hectic daily lives to really reconnect with their true selves, right? And so, but it's so hard day to day to remember, even I've tried meditating for 20 minutes every day my entire life. That is a peaks and valley journey, if I can ever say. And so offering just these simple things that you don't have to be a monk. You get to come where the monks lived on the mountain to take back with you simple things. What I love about the labyrinth is learning to meditate while walking, right? We think oh, I have to be silent and still and have, again, be a monk, but no, really there is meditation there's opportunity to return to yourself and be in your body and notice nature in every single practice that we do. And so by walking the labyrinth, you learn how to practice meditative walking, which we're walking way more often than we're just sitting in silence. Mm-hmm. And it's easier to kind of fold that into your everyday. So when you find yourself walking the dog, going to get your coffee, can you remember that moment in that labyrinth and how you can center yourself even while walking to get coffee or walking the dog, right? And so really excited about those opportunities. And yeah, as Chris said, we're doing this intentionally around the full moon, because as we return to that feminine part of ourselves, as we remind ourselves of that, of kind of our feminine energy that is so closely tied to the moon, right? And so it's not witchcraft, or maybe it is, right? But it's just simple science in a way, how closely our moon cycles, especially as identifying as women, and how we are shifted by the moon. And so on this full moon, taking that time for yourself, we hope that it really amplifies, literally in the cellular part of your being, that this is amplified, this memory, this cellular memory of who we are and where we've come from can really seep in, and you can take that with you when you go. So super excited about that too.
Yeah, I think it's great. I can't remember now. We did a prep, everybody, and I don't remember what Heather said as to when early bird ends. It's probably, oh, thank you. She just sent me a note. Thanks. Early bird is $175 for the day. It includes, I think, at least lunch and snacks and water. If you add on the beach walk in the morning, we'll take care of coffee and a light breakfast also. Thank you. It's $25 to add on the morning. Oh, so September 1, early bird ends, and the price for the day goes up $200 plus, of course, the add morning. This is too much math for me. Thank you very much. Anyway, the real issue is sign up before September 1st. By then, we have only a few spots left, and I just want to say to everybody, Sarah Retreat is amazing. They are also still being very cautious about We don't have to wear masks. I don't think though. So they're not imposing those things on us, but they are being cautious about space. So we are limited in the number of people who can attend. This time it's 15. Last time I think we had a bigger group, bigger room. So anyway, get your spot is the point. Sign yourself up. I also mentioned earlier, December 10th, we are going to do a day. The agenda might be a little different, but same location. If you want to save that date, that's great. We haven't put those tickets on sale yet, but I know December gets super crazy for people. So I would urge you to, just think in advance what you can do for yourself. And the last thing, I know we probably have to go and let everybody get to their busy lives. But sometimes people ask me, like, who do you design your retreats for? Well, we design them for ourselves. I'm going to just be honest with everybody. We design around what we know we need and what often our people need, our tribe. And that tends to resonate with other people who are super busy, which is probably you, and also need a break from the noise, right? There's a lot going on. And, if we can create space, like I said, we are going to move to more destination retreats in 2023. But at this moment, like Eugenie and Karuna were saying, we just want to create some space that if you can give yourself a day, right? And just turn everything off, tell everybody you're going to come to Malibu and spend the day with you, with yourself and with us. We promise that we will protect that on your behalf. And again, you can choose how you want to participate that day, as little or as much as you want. And we will be thrilled and privileged that you want to share that space with us. And so sign up today. Please don't wait. Did I miss anything, awesome ladies, before we go?
No, thank you, Chris.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Heather and Lucy, who everybody can't see, but Mission Control is behind us making that happen because I can't run this tech. So thank you to them and our whole team that makes our retreats work, and everybody have an awesome day. And we will see you on September 10th.
Thanks, everybody.